David Cornsweet has been cast as Superman, and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane for Superman Legacy, written and directed by James Gunn. I don't know much about either of them, but Cornsweet was a popular fan cast because he played a sweet farm boy in some film or show. Um, so, I trust in James Gunn, like I said before. He just hasn't missed when it comes to superhero stuff. Our Guardians movies are easily some of the best movies in the MCU. The Suicide Squad is great. He just doesn't miss when it comes to this stuff. So, especially after watching Guardians 3 and the way he handles those characters, just makes me really excited for Superman Legacy to be the first movie in this new DC extended universe, as they call it. So, Superman Legacy, some more casting news has come out. Like right after we finished recording, so I'm gonna add this into the episode. Nathan Fillion has been cast as Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, and Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Eddie Gathegi. Hold on, let me make sure it's Eddie, not Edu, because I have it spelled both ways. Okay, it's Eddie. So Eddie previously played a superhero in actually an X-Men movie. He played Darwin in X-Men First Class. The mutant with the ability to adapt to anything, and was famously killed in that movie despite basically being invincible. Yes.
Meme resurfaced on Twitter?
Yes. Well, it hasn't resurfaced. That meme has, well, granted, I follow a lot of comic book people on Twitter, so that meme is posted constantly, all the time. Comic book people are always posting that meme on Twitter. I've seen that meme more times than I've seen that I've seen that movie. And that movie's good.
Right. I was about to say, because I guess it must have escaped containment or something, because I started to see it, and I'm not in comic book spaces at all.
It's because of this. It's because he just got cast as Mr. Terrific that's happened. And Isabella Merced played Dora in that live-action Dora movie.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah. And Nathan Fillion he's Nathan Fillion. You know who Nathan Fillion is. Everybody knows Nathan Fillion is. And he's the perfect person to play Guy Gardner. Who's known as basically the asshole Green Lantern. Nathan Fillion, he'll definitely do wonders in that role. Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl, though, have been high on my list of characters that I want the average consumer to learn more about. So I couldn't be more hyped to see these two on the big screen. What is it? I think I first saw both of them, but Hawkgirl especially in the Justice League animated series and Justice League Unlimited. She's that Justice League consists of her, of course, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, John Stewart, Martian Manhunter, and The Flash, Wally West. And I've loved Hawkgirl ever since. She's really dope in that. But she has a very complicated history in the comics. There are several different versions of the characters. Sometimes she's an alien from this race of spacefaring warriors called Thanagarians from planet Thanagar. Sometimes she is an Egyptian woman who gets reincarnated with her husband over and over again. And based on the fact that the woman playing Hawkgirl is Latina, I can only assume this will be Kendra Saunders, who is the only of the many versions of Hawkgirl who is Latina. And she specifically is a woman who, I'm not sure exactly how they'll do this, if they'll do this, but she essentially, the character commits suicide, and her ancestor, who is the person who gets reincarnated over and over again as Hawkwoman, essentially her soul enters her body after she dies. And she has all the memories of Kendra, but all of the abilities of herself as the reincarnation of that superhero. And to me, that's very interesting. I would love to see them adapt that specifically. It's just a matter of, comic book movies. Granted, this is James Gunn is helming this whole thing. So I trust him more than I do most people. But I feel like comic book movies don't have the best track record of handling super heavy topics. But with the right writers and directors, they could do a great job with a Hawkgirl show or movie, or if she's a main character in something and touching on that aspect of her character, the fact that she killed herself in that she was essentially brought back to life and has to deal with the consequences of what happened.
Yep.
So that could be interesting.
Came back wrong.
But yeah, James Gunn says that the story will still be focusing on Clark and Lois, of course, but
right.
So I don't expect them to play huge roles, but I'm glad that they're here nonetheless, and it makes it feel like that maybe the main Justice League members in this universe might be pulling from the Justice League cartoon, which is the version of Justice League that a lot of people grew up with, including myself.
Love Justice League Unlimited.